and the level of excitement. What that reminded me of was our trip to Africa 2 years ago, and the level of excitement that we felt in that country, the hope that people saw just in the sheer presence of somebody like Barack Obama, a Kenyan, a black man, a man of great statesmanship who they believe could change the fate of the world. Barack Obama, a Kenyan, Barack Obama, a Kenyan, Barack Obama, a Kenyan.
When we took our trip to Africa and visited his home country in Kenya, we took a public HIV test for the very point of showing folks in Kenya that there is nothing to be embarrassed about in getting tested. Visited his home country in Kenya. Visited his home country in his home country, his home country, his home country, Kenya, Kenya, Kenya.
Question: President-elect Obama's birthplace over in Kenya, is that going to be a national spot to go visit where he was born?
It's already an attraction.
Okay.
His paternal grandmother is still alive, and
but his birthplace, they'll put up a marker there.
It will depend on the government. It's already well known.
Okay. Yeah.
This is Tim Adams, the one-time senior elections clerk for the city and county of Honolulu during the 2008 presidential campaign. And this article in WorldNet Daily asserts that you claim President Obama was not born in Hawaii. What do you say?
As of the time I was in Hawaii working in the elections office, we had many people who were asking about the eligibility of Senator Obama to be president. I was told at the time there is no long-form birth record, which would have been the case if President Obama was born in hospital in Honolulu. There is no such form in Hawaii. He does have a certificate of live birth, which is given to children of families who are residents of Hawaii when children are born outside the state. So I assert that he was born outside of Hawaii. Now, we can't tell you where he was born. Some of his family members said that he had been born while his mother was on a trip overseas.
Obama's Social Security number was entered into the self-check section of the E-Verify website. This entry resulted in Obama's Social Security number being flagged by E-Verify as likely being fraudulent. 8 of the 9 special indicators used by E-Verify have to do with fraud of one kind or another. The Social Security number Obama is using was flagged with a special indicator, clearly suggesting the number is fraudulent.
He reports that investigators Susan Daniels and John Sampson are asking why the president is using a Social Security number reserved for Connecticut applicants. And my question, do you know?
That's 2 sentences, Lester.
That's 2 sentences. My question, do you know of any record that the president ever had a mailing address in Connecticut?
Lester, I know there are faithful readers of your publication that, despite
including you.
I don't know that I would necessarily mark myself down as an avid reader or a faithful reader. I continue to be amazed, Lester, that 2 years after putting the president's birth certificate on the internet,
without a hospital and without
do you think the president
doctor.
was born here, Lester?
Beg pardon?
Do you think the president was born in the United States?
I don't know. I'd love to get the real birth certificate, wouldn't you?
I've seen the real birth certificate. I put it on the internet, and I appreciate your forthrightness on the birth answer.
Thank you.
What you're looking at there, which I believe is the copy that comes from factcheck.org or Annenberg, there's no reference there to the attending physician. There's no reference there to the hospital in which he was born. It is a certificate that refers to the fact that another certificate exists. So I can be really clear about it. It is a document that says there's another document.
Here's what everybody's been looking at today. Here's the document. We're going to save this into a folder called Obama Birth right here. Nothing in here. In here it says birth certificate long. Now, if you have a copy of Adobe Illustrator, you open that up. So now we're in Illustrator. You can see up at the top here. We're going to open this really quickly. Here we are in Illustrator, and you can see already that there's little layers, but you can't, it moves everything at one layer, okay? So there, I'm going to go back, put it back here. Now watch this. I'm going to click onto it, right-click to release clipping mask. This is what everybody's been doing. So now everything has been all the layers have been broken apart. So we'll just grab this layer real quick, and now we're going to add it to a different layer on top of that other layer. And now you can see this is a completely different layer, and there's even a missing number on this when you bring this back in. Let me bring that back up.
So there's a ghost. There's a ghost.
Yeah, so this one was here originally, but then they added these numbers, it looks like. Watch the signature here. Part of the signature's there and part of it's not. They add something down here to Ukulele, who's supposed to be the local registrar. They add the numbers 1 here and over here. There's a 3 and a 1 added. You can just see by turning it on and off. You know, there's different letters all over this that have been added into it. So there's
I'm a layman, but for years watching people in the office work in Photoshop, myself learning how to use it, they didn't flatten it.
Exactly.
They left it in the layers, but what's crazier is you could say, well, that was just a mistake or some computer glitch. The numbers they've added don't even match or look the same when you blow them up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is insane. They're modern computer numbers, not some 1960s typewriter.
Yeah, you could easily see that.
I'm going to be honest, folks. This is beyond me.